Exploring Music is a compulsory first-year music literature course that brings together approximately 160 students from different disciplines, and this includes jazz, classical, opera, music technology and music composition, and the course explores these various genres and other diverse music topics. Because it covers such a broad array of topics, students have not fully understood the relevance of this course to their practice as a musician. Engagement has thus been quite low through the years, as seen in the ever-dropping class attendance numbers and lack of engagement with online materials such as lecture capture and uploaded resources, and we can see this through the course analytics, as well as the fact that students don't come to classes prepared. As a new convener for this course, I have an opportunity to draw on my experiences and research in the field of student engagement and to build on prior conveners' work to enhance this course with the student experience front of mind. And there's several ways I'm doing this. So firstly, in order for students to want to engage, the content explored needs to be perceived as relevant to their own journeys. And of course, this is a challenge for any large course. Over the years, Exploring Music has had different themes to try to connect the disparate subjects throughout the trimester. This year, I decided to make the theme the students themselves. So I introduced a topic called musical reference points, and this allowed students to explore their musical interests and to understand how they have developed. But it also allowed students to start to understand that their peers' experiences and interests have developed differently to their own, but also that we can start to form an appreciation of other music by understanding the experiences and influences around them. So connecting this to discussions about why appreciating other music is even important as emerging professional musicians also helped to increase relevance, because students now understand why we even explore the topics and why this course might help them to develop. The student experience is at the front of each week's topic, ensuring I keep relevance as high as I can, and through active discussions, students have the opportunity to unpack their initial thoughts and reactions to different music, but then also to step outside of that and understand music from other perspectives in light of social, cultural and political contexts, and this is one of the aims of this course. Active learning is extremely important for engaging students with their learning. We know through research that passively listening to content without any deliberate cognitive engagement does not lead to deep, lasting or meaningful learning. As well as discussions with their peers, and as a class as a whole, I use in-class polling through Echo 360 to help engage those who might not like to speak up, and also other technology platforms as relevant depending on the activity. Listening to music also features heavily in classes, but this really focuses on active listening, where students are challenged to listen differently in light of new information around the genre being explored. When it comes to selecting the specific music being heard, I share this responsibility with students, again providing opportunities for them to be actively involved. I've even had students come up to the front of the class to explain their choices and to search for and share YouTube clips, and student responses to this peer learning has been very well received, with discussions and with laughter throughout the class. As an educator, incorporating so much active learning makes classes inspiring and engaging for me, but this also means I need to be open to being flexible, to thinking on my feet, and allowing myself to be directed by the discussions and questions that unfold throughout the class. In this way, I facilitate discussions and learning, rather than simply providing the content for students to retain. This doesn't mean, however, that content is absent. Last year, this course featured a series of guest lectures by lecturers at the Conservatorium who are specialists in the week's topic, and these were professionally recorded, enabling me to be able to draw on them this year. And this has enabled me to flip the classroom and have students watch the videos prior to class. As well as guest lecturers, these videos have included TED Talks and other videos available online as they're relevant to the week. I tried this approach to tutorials in previous years without success, and this is because students would generally arrive to class unprepared, not having viewed any of the online materials, and again, this is a sign of low student engagement. But this year, I've realised that as an educator, I have a responsibility here to help students to develop the time management and independence skills required for a flipped approach to be successful. And so I've built options in for students. They can either engage with the material in their own time, prior to class, or they can arrive half an hour early and I play the videos then to the cohort as a whole. Either way, students are getting used to scheduling time to engage with online materials and are then prepared to participate in activities. Now, when it comes to the outcomes of this approach, I first need to acknowledge that we're currently in week 5 of the trimester. But so far, attendance and student engagement has been extremely high each week, with over 3/4 of students attending each class. On average, of those attending, around 2/3 or 3/4 arrive for the video showing with their peers, and the rest of the students arrive for the start. I've even had students say they viewed the online material at home, but are still coming to the in-class showing of the videos in case they missed something the first time around, and this is not something I would expect of first-year students, especially within the context of exploring music. I found students to be very receptive to active learning and being involved in questions, discussions, and online activities. And a bonus here is that it's allowed me to understand the learning that is taking place and to clear up any misunderstandings or to kind of steer the class where it needs to go. Of course, there's always students that are more willing to speak up in class, and so it's an ongoing balance for myself to make sure smaller group discussions and online polls enable all students to engage in ways that are most comfortable to them. And that means I also need to relinquish some control over steering discussions where I think they should be, rather than where students need them to go. The guest lecturers from last year are also invited to attend the classes that relate to their areas of expertise, and this enables them to participate in discussions, providing another dimension of interaction to the classes. These colleagues, who have also noticed the challenge of student engagement associated with exploring music, have commended the approach I'm taking with this course, and so far have enjoyed their involvement. Also, they've noticed the benefits to students, and even just the fact that students are now turning up. Time will tell whether the high-level engagement will continue over the second half of the trimester, but so far relevance, active engagement, and the flipped model are proving to be effective learning and teaching strategies in this course.